So today I decided it would be a good idea to speedrun Run 3. Run 3 is a little platforming game where you're this little dude right here and you travel through frickin' space. I don't know about you guys, but I haven't played or thought about this game in years, despite the fact that it was a game I would play endlessly in school while I admittedly should have been doing my schoolwork, to be honest. That being said, hopefully I can use some of my childhood skills to speedrun this game. These levels start off pretty easily. We just have these blue and gray segments, and the gray ones end up falling if you touch them, and the blue ones stay there forever. It's pretty simple. Admittedly, the first 30 levels of this game are super easy, but it definitely ramps up and gets a little bit dicey after that. The speedrun gets a little more interesting when we unlock the rollerblade character. That just makes your character go faster, and we want to use that for the majority of the run because it makes us faster. Why wouldn't we? We're speedrunning. But before we do that, we got to get through one of my favorite levels just because of how satisfying these gray things are. The way they just fly out, it looks pretty cool. I like it. But with that, we unlock the rollerblader and the only other character we use this entire run. With the rollerblader unlocked, it makes these levels a little bit harder because you have to be more precise with your movements because of how much faster you're going, but these levels are still pretty easy to begin with. But that still doesn't stop me from making dumb mistakes like these countless times throughout this run because I'm just not the best, I guess. As we get through these seemingly endless levels, you notice the music and the colors change, and that's pretty much all that changes aside from they get slightly more difficult each time. This doesn't pose much of a problem until about level 40, because that's when the game gets actually kind of difficult. Needless to say though, there's still a few levels that I want you guys to see before that, so I'm going to show them to you now. Like level 15 here, which is a pretty simple level, but there's almost no squares to stand on, so it's pretty difficult. Or level 20, which is just a spiral. It's pretty easy, but it looks cool. Or even level 32, which is another spiral level that only has half of a spiral. They kind of reused the other level. It is what it is. Needless to say, there's countless cool looking levels and even hard levels, but I'd be here all day if I was showing them all to you, so let's just get to the really difficult ones. With that, we're gonna start with level 40. Level 40 wasn't too difficult per se, but it definitely gave me a run for my money in a few sections. More or less just the ending though, because I really couldn't find the way to make this last jump work, so it was a little tough, but eventually I figured it out. Another level that isn't so much hard as I just did something super cool is the level right after this one, level 41. I end up coming off of the map with this gray piece and still managed to pass the level, which is pretty cool in my opinion. Another cool and hard level is the level right after this one too, which is level 42. It matches both kind of coolness and hardness because I just get super dizzy going through these spirals. The only way you can pass this level is by spinning in a big old circle, and it just made me dizzy. After getting through a few more of the easy but still cool looking levels, I get to the level that probably gave me the most difficult time of the entire run, which is level 48. I don't know what it was about this level, whether it was the weird design or the constant changing on walls that you have to go to. Something about it, maybe the timings, I just could not wrap my head around the way you were supposed to do this level. Even kind of cheating here where I came off the map, I still just couldn't pass the level. I ended up spending about almost 2 minutes on this level, more like a minute and a half, but that's still a really long time in the grand scheme of this speedrun. It really should have taken me 15 seconds, if that. But eventually, with enough time and a character change so that I'm not so fast, I beat the level pretty easily. I should have changed characters sooner, oh my gosh. I don't like switching the character because it definitely makes you lose a bit of time, but you gotta do what you gotta do. I'd much rather pass the level slowly than not pass it quickly. Level 51 is where things get pretty stressful, especially with being the skater dude, and just the way these rings are laid out. You have to keep spinning in a circle and just try and get the timings right, and it can be pretty difficult and stress-inducing to say the least. It was a tough level. Looking back on it, I'm surprised that level 56 didn't give me more trouble. I managed to do it first try despite it being this weird, funky, spinny level, but hey, props to me for getting it first try, that's pretty cool. Some of the levels like this one that have a lot of holes can be pretty difficult at first, but once I found the right route to do it, it was pretty easy. That can't be said for level 61 though, because I just couldn't find the route for this one for the life of me. I kept making mistake after mistake, and It was a long while until I finally figured out how to do the level. I even got really close here one time, but I still just couldn't do it. But eventually, the stars aligned, the Mercury was in retrograde, I'm not sure. Something's in Gatorade. It worked out for me, and I managed to complete the level, thankfully. And I surprisingly managed to beat almost all the other levels first try, up until this last level, which is a bit of a tough one. It's probably the toughest one in the game, I'll admit. I gave it a fair few tries as the skater dude, but this is the only other level in the game where I had to switch to the normal guy, just because the jumps are too precise and I just couldn't manage them on the skater guy, so sue me, I don't know. But after making the switch, I first tried the level as the new guy, and it all went pretty well. We managed to beat Run 3 in a time of 21 minutes and 45 seconds. And looking at the leaderboard, that puts me at 73rd in the world out of 94 people. Hey, that's not bad. Honestly, that was a bit better than I expected. I'm not really sure what I was expecting, but I haven't played the game in how many years, but hey, here we are. If you guys made it to the end of the video, I'm not sure why you'd be here, but thanks for being here anyway. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, maybe consider subscribing. It'd really help me out, and I just would appreciate it, I guess. I don't know. Have a great rest of your day, night, evening. I don't know.
Peace.